and went to Reese Air Force Base and became an instructor pilot in the T-38. I noticed there that I could do the maneuvers, but what I had to do was start figuring out the processes that I was using, the specific processes. What was I looking at to get a visual clue as to how I needed to adjust my position? I needed to really understand that so that I could explain it to the student and he could see the same things faster and become more proficient at flying the airplanes. That's the beautiful T-38 that is still the most advanced trainer for the Air Force. And the interesting thing is, I realized that this analysis of processes was very useful to me in other parts of life, even in my relationship with my wife. Anything that I was doing on the ground as a young officer in the Air Force, things that I was doing in the community and at my church. There were processes that would drive outcomes, and that if I would not just focus on the outcome, but look at the steps that would lead up to it and analyze those and put more energy into understanding and causing those steps in the process to go in the right direction, in the right sequence, then I could improve my outcomes tremendously. And that is a process, if you will, a practice, an attitude that I highly recommend to you. It served me well. I wound up leaving the Air Force, not because I was disappointed with the Air Force, but after 7 years, 1974, there were many things going on in our society that were of concern to me, including the fact that it looked like we were going to be at peace for the next 20 years after the Vietnam experience, and peacetime military is different from the wartime military. So I decided to be a citizen soldier, to hang up my commission, and to go into business. I went into financial planning, served 30 years with First Command Financial Planning. I had 7 years as president, followed by 15 years as CEO, and this continuing analysis of processes and focusing on other people served me well throughout that process. We grew the company by 4-fold and increased profit by 6-fold during that period. A lot of joy in there. So I left the corporate office in 2007 and I said, okay, now what am I going to do with all of this insight, all of this scar tissue, all of this experience that I've had? And I thought longly and deeply about that, and you know what I figured out? It is fun to be served. It's fun to have the corner office. It's fun to have people think that your jokes are funny and that you're a good person to be around. It's fun to be served. It's fun to receive other people's attention and gifts. But that is fleeting, and there's never enough of it. For instance, if you're going to fill up your heart based on the accolades from other people, then you're really focusing on fame or power or influence. If you're going to do it with money, it's going to take a lot. If you're going to do it the way that the world says you can find significance and joy and purpose, you focus on that. And if you think about where in our society that is most prevalent, where are the most beautiful people with the most money, the most influence, and the most fame, it's the Hollywood crowd. And if you can believe half of what you read, you'd be hard-pressed to find anybody or any group of people that's more miserable. So there must be another answer. And what I found the other answer to be is that service to others was the key.